Greetings and salutations. This is Thumbs United. Right now we're going to a PS3 Classic, and I'm going to be doing Heavy Rain, a Heavy Rain Let's Play. If you're new, I released this to Patreon first in one big chunk, so all Let's Plays are released as one playlist on YouTube. And if you subscribe for the $2 or more level, you get access to it now. And then a month after that, I start streaming the Let's Plays to Twitch. And once the Twitch Let's Play is finished, then I slowly release it to YouTube 1 week at a time per Let's Play. And on YouTube, I'm also releasing game archive videos, which are, it's just gameplay and story. And so earlier I was doing Mass Effect 3, so Mass Effect 3 is going to start coming out. And there's no commentary on that. You just get to see my decisions and gameplay and then cutscenes. Now this game is kind of depressing, but I like it. It's like, if you're into like some melancholic I can't say it, melancholic content, this is a pretty good one. It's a good drama, and I really like the storytelling in Heavy Rain. This is,
I better take a shower and get dressed before I go downstairs.
This is my second full playthrough.
Gone shopping. I'll pick the kids up from school at lunchtime, and then I'll come home to get things ready for Jason's birthday party. Don't work too hard. I love you.
My goodness, that's like a full day schedule. And he's just sleeping in. And so this is my second full playthrough. I played it through, sometimes I go back and I guess play certain levels that I enjoy, just to see the different outcomes, but I'm starting over for the beginning for this one, obviously. It's kind of sad that what happened is the person who created the music, he completed the music for this game, but I think it was mid-production for their nesting. I don't know if it was like Beyond Two Souls or if it was for the new one they're doing, the Detroit robot one. But he like died, and I was like, no, because the music in this is so good. It's so good and dramatic. I think it's up there with Hans Zimmer and other artists. If only shaving was this quick. So I don't know, I guess I've been looking for deals a lot lately, but so I have Amazon Prime, and it was actually funny because I had the student Amazon Prime, so it's like $50, and so that's how I got it. And then all of a sudden I was checking my bank statements, and I was like, what is this withdrawal for like $100? And then I checked, and it was like Amazon Prime. I was like, what? I'm still a college student technically. Why did it bump up from the $50 price to the $100 price? But I was like, fine, I don't care. I use Prime a lot for shipping because I buy like little cords and things often for computers, like little dongles and everything, and so I like the 2-day shipping. But I feel like Prime used to stand for 2-day shipping, like guaranteed, but now I feel like you're lucky if you get it within 2 days. But also it's nice because when you're ordering something, like sometimes I'll order a part and it's like, this is actually coming from China, and I was like, oh. And whenever it says that, it's like, it's still Prime, but it's going to take a month and a half to get to you. And it's like, okay, I guess it's worth the wait, because it's like incredibly cheaper.
Nothing like a refreshing shower. I almost feel awake.
Almost feel awake. So now that the Prime bumped me up to the $100 version, I'm like, I have to get my money's worth. And I actually really like the features of Prime, because I use their streaming music app. I think it's just called Amazon Music, and it has like all the artists I have like bought from iTunes, but it also has like a lot more of their music. And so then what I like about the streaming one is it lets you download an offline copy. And so most of the time I use it offline, and when I'm traveling or in the car. And that's like 90% of my music is all in the Amazon Prime Music app. And then the other thing is I discovered you can do the Twitch Prime subscriptions. So I was like, every month I'm like, I subscribe to somebody. Originally I was going to subscribe to a new person each month, but now I just subscribe to Pocket because I watch her content the most. The mostest. I really like her morning coffee stuff. And so, oh, and the other thing that I get a lot from Prime is on the Kindle they released this sounds like one giant commercial for
the kids get back.
Amazon Prime.
Better get some work done.
You can get magazines
nice day
and stuff.
Outside.
You can check
Maybe
out
I could
10.
squeeze in a little garden time.
And so then I download as many magazines and Prime books as I can, and then I read them all and return them and get new ones. But what the magazines are doing now is what I hate, is that they're saying, okay, we'll release it on Prime, but you can only view it on a Kindle, like the Kindle tablet or an actual Kindle. And it's like, seriously? I don't know why Prime allows that, because I mean that cuts down the amount of magazines you can read to have, and it's always the ones I want to read that it won't let you download because I have an iPad. And it's like, seriously? That's stupid. And so it checks, because it's like, according to our records, you don't have any Kindle, so we're not going to let you download this. And it's like, what? That's lame. And so I've been getting advertised a lot, the Kindle Unlimited. And so I went to go check it out. And then they were like, 30-day free trial. And I was like, okay. Because there was a book I wanted to read, and I needed to use it as references. But it was under Kindle Unlimited. I actually sell my books on Kindle Unlimited. There, you can search on Amazon for the Flotation book or for the Master of Art Collector's Edition. And if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can download it for free. And also on the Kindle Unlimited, you're allowed to have 10 books for free. And so it was really nice. And there's like a wide variety of books you can get on almost all the topics that are available for Kindle Unlimited. But I ended up canceling the subscription because I didn't read enough. I'm going to reactivate it later, especially when I start doing more research for some of the documentaries that I'm going to do. But there are a lot of Prime Unlimited books, and some of them are garbage, and it's just like, I was looking up photo books, and I was like, some of these are like softcore adult content, and I was like, why is all this on there? So they definitely need to come up with a filtering system to like keep it out because it's just like I just wanted like a photography how-to book or a pose book because I want to get into more not fashion shoots but more glamour photography, so that I'm not just doing landscape photography on photations.com. And I feel like glamour photography can be a lot more creative. There's more elements, and you have to really control everything. Like coming up with the poses, you have to interview models and everything, and then figure out costume design and also the location scouting. So that's what I used to do when I did my internship at Walt Disney and was making the short films. So I really like producing, but I feel like I haven't produced like physical content outside of like post-production and everything. And the thing about landscape photography is, I mean, you go to the different locations.
The plans are coming along nicely.
You can't move them
Should be
often the way
finished by
you want
Monday.
to. And so a lot of the producing you do is in Photoshop, and I just do color grades. I never exchange the appearance or anything like that. Like I don't Photoshop extra mountain to the left or do content aware fill to like remove a pole. I try to have some ethics when I use Photoshop. And I don't know what's going on with this summer. I haven't really been eating out more often, but I'm eating out definitely
I could
more
go for
at
a cup of coffee.
Qdoba.
I'm thirsty. Should be some orange juice in the fridge.
I actually like Chipotle better.
It's
but
almost lunchtime.
I'm usually more
Grace and
leaning
the kids
for
will be back
Qdoba.
any minute.
I'm so happy because in the town that I live
I hope
in,
Grace
we
found a
didn't
present
have
for Jason's birthday.
Qdoba, but now a Chipotle.
Maybe
but now
there's
we do.
something on TV. I could just relax on the couch until Grace and the kids come back. How about some music?
This guy has quite the life. Wakes up late, just watches TV.
Finished. Now I can relax and seize the day.
But anyway, it's funny because most of the people at the Qdoba in our town, they know us and they're like, oh, here are the vegetarians. Never want meat on their burrito or bowl. I have to get the bowl because I'm allergic to wheat, so I can't have the tortilla or anything. And I'm also allergic to corn, so I can't have like the tacos. But anyway, I developed a trick too, and I get both beans and both rice.
Hey, take it easy. You're gonna knock me over. So this is your big day, huh?
Am I grown up now?
10 years old. That's not exactly grown up, but you're getting there.
Now, can I drive your car?
And I think you're gonna have to wait a little while for that.
And
Ethan, can you please help me?
I'm coming.
anyway, I do it because I don't get the meat, and so the Qdoba's prices have gone up, and so it actually, if you're a vegetarian and you go to Qdoba, like it used to be cheaper. It used to be like $5 for a burrito, but now they're like, oh, and
they've
so it's a
been so
good thing for the
excited
meat
since
eaters
morning.
because you
I
get
could
like
hardly
more
keep them
meat
in
and
line
stuff,
in
and you
the
don't have to pay for it. But it also means
How's
that
your
if you
day
don't
been?
get meat, you get
Managed to get
less,
any work done?
and everybody assumes you're getting the meat when you get the
I
bowl
made some
or
pretty
the
good
burrito.
progress. I've just
And
got to
so they
work on
give
a
you,
few
like,
more
a tiny
details,
amount
and
of
then
beans
I
and
should be
rice.
ready to present the plans to the client.
And so that's why I
I've got a
adopted
billion
the
things to do.
getting
It'll
both
never
rice
be
and
ready
both
before
beans.
Jason's pals arrive. Can you
And I
please
used
help
to
me?
dislike their
There
guacamole,
should
but
be
now
plates
it's
in the living
like
room cupboard.
I gotta get it.
No problem, leave it to me.
But and
That
so
door's always sticking. Give it a big tug.
the whole point of the story is, you know, I have the local Cordova,
That's the set my
everyone
mother
there
gave
likes
us.
us.
Be careful,
But there's
okay?
this
Don't
one
worry,
lady,
I wouldn't want to be responsible for a diplomatic incident with your mother.
and she's like always so grumpy. And so every time we go, we're like, I hope she's not there. And we got to the point where we're like trying to figure out where her schedule is so we don't go when she goes in. But we go, and she just gives a tiny amount of beans and like a tiny amount of rice. And then you're like, I got into the point where I like ask her, I'm like, can I have some extra beans or rice? And she gets like so attitudey, and she gives like half a scoop. And it's just like, I'm not getting any meat. That's like not enough for a bowl.
I've already told you this today, Mrs. Mars. But I find you very attractive.
You're not so bad yourself, Mr. Mars.
That's pretty awkward. I heard an LetsPlay review from G4, and they're like, they're kissing as like two seals
But now is not the right
going
time
at each
for
other.
it.
Shame.
I've really got to focus on this party.
But anyway,
We'll
and so
continue this little
we went
conversation
once,
later.
and I guess there was a guy she found attractive because she was like ogling him, and so he ordered a meat
Can I do anything
bowl,
to help?
No thanks.
and she gave him
I should
like
be able to
extra
manage.
scoops of everything. So then I was like, okay, she just doesn't like us or me. Everything, and I was like, that's too bad. But it's gotten so annoying that we're starting to go to the next town over, which is like a 15-minute drive to go to
I
that
thought you brought
Cordova,
that for the kids.
because people there are
Of course,
A lot
I'm
nicer.
just checking that it still works.
Yeah.
just to avoid this
sure.
person. And so the Cordova is about 3 minutes away from our house, the one that's in our town. But the Cordova we go to now mainly is 15 minutes away.
That's it.
And it's
I'm
like we
free
will
as a
go the
bird.
extra
Hey, 5
distance
minutes,
just to
boys, okay?
avoid this person.
After that, we've got to eat because your friends are going to be here
Okay,
soon.
we promise, Mom.
I mean, we thought she'd get better
Who
the
wants to go first?
longer she worked
me
there,
first.
Easy, fellas. You can both have a turn.
but that didn't happen.
Me first.
All right, Jason, let's do the helicopter.
Helicopter.
It's my turn now. It's my turn.
Okay, Sean, get ready. Here we go.
So I hit kind of a dry spell in gaming. I've been looking for games primarily on the Xbox One. And so I go through,
Come on,
and I
Dad,
kind of have
show
a
us
rule
how
that
strong
I only
big
pick games
muscles.
that are like $20 or
Be
less.
careful, hang on.
But I was like, okay, I'm going to go look for a $60 game or something. And I want to wait for Andromeda for the price to go down, because I know the price is going to go down for that one based on all the problems they had. So I'll wait like a year or two, for the next Xbox sale.
This time you're done for.
But
You're gonna pay for all your crimes, evil one.
so I've been playing
Surrender,
a lot of
weakling.
Halo,
Say your
the Master
prayer.
Chief Collection, just because and Halo 5.
Come on, Jason.
Just because
Give up.
I am victorious.
Watch out!
I haven't really found a game I wanted to buy
Attack! Whoa!
on the Xbox. And the other thing is that I discovered how cheap some of the games are in retail. I mean, retail is straight up and lie to you. Like, they have all the games behind the glass case, and they're like, everything's $60 there. But if you actually look around the store, they'll have like discount centers where it's the same game and it's still brand new, but it's like discounted to $15 or $20. And it's like, why is the game behind the case $60 and this other game is only...
Food's ready, kids.
And then
You coming in?
the game in the discount place, which is the same exact thing, it's only, you know, $15. I've seen games that they're selling them for $60 and
Lunch is ready.
go to the discount bin,
I'll go get him.
and it's like $10, and I'm like, seriously? So it always pays to look around in the store, and I feel like they don't just do that with games. They'll do it with like hardware and other equipment. And so I finally decided to get back into the Arkham Knight, the Batman one, and I'm gonna release the Let's Play, but I'm gonna
What's
get
up?
the.
Merlin. He's dead.
I just checked on this
It's all
bird,
my fault.
No,
but
it's not, Sean. Of course it's not your fault.
I did
gonna do the Let's
anything
Play,
that could
but-
come back to life.
I'm gonna get the remastered version of
There's some things which
Arkham
just
Asylum
have
and
to
Arkham
happen,
City.
even if you don't want them to.
It's not fair, Dad. It's not fair.
And then I have to capture it still.
I know. I know.
But according to the game save, I've completed the story mission, but it says I've only completed 67% of all the other tasks. And I've gotten to the point, I'm playing it on easy. I don't really like playing games on hard. I used to play Halo like on Legendary and stuff just for fun. But it's like, as I got older, it's not fun anymore. It's just like, I don't have time for this. I don't want to have to do repeats of from dying and everything. But
Oh, I'd like to have a quick look at some shoes for Sean. Can you watch Jason for a minute?
Arkham Knight
I
has gotten
promise
to
you
the
won't be
point
long.
where
Sure, no problem.
all the activities are like starting to get really hard, and it's like
We're not going
there
anywhere,
used
are
to
we,
be
Jason?
multiple ways
Come on, honey.
to do certain tasks, and now there's one way, and they don't tell you how to do it. You have to kind of guess and figure it out. And once you figure it out, you feel like a genius. But it's like, so for each objective, you have to do it and figure out the new way. And it's like there's maybe 9 missions, and each mission has 20 to 30
Jason!
segments you have to complete.
Jason!
And each segment
Jason!
is like
Jason!
maybe 15 to 20 minutes long. But it just gets so draining
Jason!
because it's a lot of trial and error,
Jason!
and so the difficulty is like
Jason!
really ratcheted up. And it's just like
Jason!
it's gotten to the point where the game's not fun.
Jason!
So then and the other thing that doesn't help is I haven't played Arkham Knight in about
Jason, you really
3
shouldn't
months,
wander off like
so
that,
I don't
no?
remember the
Awful lot of people in
the
here.
button
Please, Dad,
mashing
can I
or
have one?
some of
I
the
would really
abilities.
love to have one. Please, Dad,
So I actually
come
just started
on.
over.
Okay,
I
let's go
opened
buy
up
a
a new
balloon.
game slot, and then
Great!
I went to
Hey, champ! What's your
just start
name?
from the beginning.
Jason,
And it is so
Which
much more
balloon
fun,
would you like,
especially since
Jason?
I know how
the
to
red one.
do most of it.
Here you go.
And just like, there's a couple prompts and it refreshes your memory. But it's like, I know how to do this in the story.
That'll be
I know.
$2, sir.
I'm
Jason, wait for me. Wait for your dad, son. It's really crowded in here.
And so it's so much more fun. And I feel like if you're playing it on easy, that it should never ratchet up to how hard it was getting, and that was just at 67%. And I completed the story mission. It wasn't that the story mission was hard. The story mission never got extremely hard. It's just all the extra stuff. And then the joke of it
It is
spoiler
impossible
alert,
to try on a pair of shoes with this crowd. Where's Jason?
He was here a second ago. I bought him a balloon. I turned around and he just disappeared.
you lost Jason?
Disappeared? What do you mean disappeared?
Stay here. I'll go get him. I'll be right back.
Jason!
Jason! Jason!
Jason! Jason! Jason!
Sometimes my
Jason!
sisters and I, when we're in a crowded place, we'll just start yelling
Jason!
Jason.
Jason! Jason!
And the other thing about the Arkham Knight is it
Jason!
doesn't feel like a next-gen game. Like, it feels like an
Jason!
Xbox 360 game that at the last minute was ported
Jason!
to the Xbox One.
Careful!
Jason!
Hey man, watch it!
Jason!
And, like, I have a big problem with Unreal Engine. I don't really
Jason!
think it looks better. And a lot of people like
Jason!
it. But especially when third parties use
Jason!
the Unreal Engine,
Jason!
I think that a lot of times what they do is they
Jason!
set it so that it renders less
Jason!
resolution
Hey man,
to
watch it!
further back, so it always feels like the game is out of focus.
Jason!
Like things close to you are in focus, but nothing like at the infinity
Jason!
point is in focus, and so it's like
Jason!
it really,
Watch it!
for me, it really feels like it
Hey man, watch it!
Jason!
strains little
Watch it!
eyeballs.
Jason, God, you really had me scared.
Jason! Jason! Jason!
Be careful, right?
Hey! Jason! Jason!
Hey man, watch it, dude!
And so I wish that the Arkham Knight they did their own engine
Shit.
instead
Shit!
of relying on Unreal Engine.
Jason!
And it feels like it's an old version of Unreal Engine. Like, I don't think it's Unreal Engine 4. I think it's still like Unreal Engine 3,
Jason!
which is primarily used for
Jason! Jason! Oh my god, no! No! No, Jason, oh my god, no!
now the game gets depressing.
Oh my god.
And you thought it'd be happy?
No!
It gets so much worse. In terms of sadness. Not in terms of gameplay. And the other thing that was funny about the Arkham Knight is that once you know, like, beat in the story and you go back to play it the second time, it's just like there are parts that I was struggling at that like took me an hour or so to do. Now it takes me like 4 minutes, 5 minutes. But my issue was that I never played a Batman Arkham game. So the third one in the trilogy, they kind of expect you to know what's going on. It's like, I'm still learning how to use my equipment. You want me to do what with the Batmobile? Now we're gonna get into some real talk, but kind of backstory. For the last 2 years, I've been pretty depressed, and I mean, I've still been working. It hasn't gotten to the point where I've like slowed down with production, but it's just like, oh my goodness, like every day felt like a chore. And then when I'd wake up, I was just like, how many hours till I get to go back to sleep? And I was like really low energy. But and my doctor and I tried a few things, and it would work for like 6 months or so, and then it was like the depression came back, and I was like, seriously? And then also the other thing that came with it was like high anxiety. I've always had high anxiety, but sometimes it goes down and sometimes it comes back. But for the solid 2 years, it's been back. And I was getting like so anxious that like I decided to take a break from school, because that was a big thing. I mean, it would get to the point where it's just like I wouldn't show up for class. I would do the work and turn it in, and I just wouldn't show up for class. And so for a lot of classes that was okay, and like the teachers didn't care as long as you turned in your work on time. But there were a couple of classes that I got messed up on, and like I'd forget to submit a couple of things, but those are like the highest graded ones.
Hi, Dad.
So I'm gonna start back up back to college. But I go to the local community college, and that's a nice one.
Let's go back home.
I don't know, I've been exercising more. I've been eating more organic food, and I mean more healthier food on top of being organic, and I think that's helped a lot. And the thing I've lost a lot of weight. I mean, while I was depressed, I gained a lot of weight, but now I'm starting to lose it, and I feel a lot better. I'm still not waking up early, but I do feel better about the day and getting things done. So I guess that's a plus. But while I was depressed, I learned how to fight it. I mean, one of the things, and I wrote about this on the blog side of quotations.com, is that you may not want to do something, or you may be afraid to do something, but you really have to like feel the fear and just do it anyway. Because a lot of times, and especially with anxiety, you get so afraid of doing something, and it's like, what if things go wrong? And 90% of the time, nothing goes wrong, or it's a lot easier than you thought it would be doing the task you were afraid to do. And then the other thing, especially about doing things in public, nobody really wants you to fail, and like you feel like a big fear is like, oh, nobody wants you to succeed, but that's not true at all. And everyone's really helpful, and in general, people are nice. I mean, you'll run into an angry person or two, but I mean, you never know. They could be having the worst day of their life. And a lot of times they don't mean it. Or sometimes they're like completely unaware that they're being rude.
We'll see about the homework later. Time for a snack. Maybe Sean is hungry.
Oh man, I'm so hungry. I'm trying to socialize more, because like that was the thing I wasn't doing while I was depressed. and that probably contributed to like some of the depression. But about a year and a half ago, I started going on the dating sites, and I never paid for any of them. Like, I was on Tinder, I was on Bumble, I was on OkCupid. And so then I was just getting so much spam. And it's not like, oh, you should recognize spam. They're obviously fake accounts. The spammers would, like, use real women's profiles. Like, they were legitimate selfies and stuff. And then there was, like, the obvious ones that were, like, fake, fashion shoots and models. And you occasionally find one where it's like, I know this isn't you, this is a photo of Scarlett Johansson.
Seems like he can't wait to get back to his mother.
And so there's a lot of that. But the spam I was getting, it was just like, it was totally real profile pics that were obviously stolen. And then they just follow the same script. There's like, hi. And I was like, hi. And then they're like, I totally want to meet you. I'm 12 miles away. Or, oh, hi, I'm a nurse. But then it was like, I would screenshot some of the messages because it's just like, whoever, like this company of spam or whatever, they would just do the same thing over. And it's just like, oh, stop. So I would like report them as spam. And so I got to the point where it's just like, I don't want to do this. I would get matched with a spam account 2 to 3 times every day. And so I just quit them. And it's funny because when you go to quit some of the dating sites, they're really rude about it. Like, I remember Bumble was like, okay, if you quit and delete your profile, they essentially said you can never come back. But they didn't say that. They said, we will not match you if you come back with, like, the best bumblebees, meaning, like, the best women. And I was like, so what, they rank women based on, like, personality type or something? Which is weird because you can't even input that. So I was like, how do they know that they're the best people? So I quit for about 4 months, maybe 5. And then I went back. I was like, I still have to meet more people. And so I'm kind of on these sites for both friends and dating. And so I haven't met people, but I'm definitely talking to a lot more people, a lot more real people. But some of them are scary. I was talking to this one woman and she was like, hey. And I was like, hey. And then we got talking, and somehow in the conversation, she brought it up. And she was like, oh yeah, I dropped this TV on a homeless man. And so I thought she was joking, so I made the joke like, oh, did you flatten him with a flat screen? And then she's like, no, it was like the old TV is like a CRT. I was like, oh my goodness. Why is this one, I don't think it's right that, you attack a homeless person. I mean, they got so many issues. One, they're like usually mentally unstable. And it's just like, they suffered enough. And they're homeless. They have nothing, And so then I was like, why did you do it? And she was like, oh, he called me ugly. And so I dropped the TV on him. And I was like, that's terrible. And so then the other thing I was thinking, I was like, this is the kind of thing the person jokes about. I really don't want to be involved with them. Why just like, why would you joke about this, one? Or two, if it was real, why would you admit this?
Sean hasn't done his homework yet.
So that's the other thing that kind of got me worried.
Do you want me to get your dinner?
It's just like
no, thanks, I'm not
elitism
hungry
in
yet.
general. And some people think it's okay to just be like, oh, I have money. You're
Sean's
less of a
sneezing.
person if
I
you
think he's
don't,
catching
or
a
if you're
cold.
homeless. But I think that's like a wrong attitude to have. I mean, we're all just people. And I don't really think, the amount somebody makes or the living conditions really changes how good of a person is. Or it should dictate the level of response they get from
Do
others.
you want me to get your dinner?
No thanks, I'm not hungry yet.
Sean, do you want to do your homework now?
Please, Dad, let me watch TV a little while longer.
So that brings
I'll
me to
do
the
it
next
later,
topic.
okay?
Because I texted her one more thing. I was like, so how high did you
All
drop
right,
the TV
I'll
from?
come back a little later.
And then she never answered back, but I was just like, oh my goodness. And so that brings me to the topic of ghosting. And like, what is up with that? And like, ghosting has become such a big deal that like I'm seeing it mentioned in like TV shows. I was like, oh, I was in this relationship with someone, then he started ghosting me. And it was
Do
funny
you want me
because
to
this
get
is
your
like
dinner?
No thanks,
like a
I'm not
TV show
hungry
for like
yet.
the older generation. Well, it's filmed with people of the older generation. Not
You've
so
got a
much
cold coming
millennials,
on.
but more
I'm going to see if I can find some medicine for you.
Gen X or whatever. And it's just like, I don't understand. I mean, at least have the decency to say like, hey, I don't want to talk to you right now, or blah, blah, blah. But I get a lot of ghosting from my
I
friends.
think there's some medicine in the bathroom
And
cabinet.
I'll like text them on Facebook, and then they'll be like months later, they'll be like, oh, sorry, I didn't have your phone number, so I didn't text you. And it's like, I texted you on Messenger. It's like, I've seen you on Facebook like 3 times a day. You know, it comes up as a notification. So it's just like, really? So that's annoying. And I didn't join Facebook to really connect with my friends. I used to like just text them or so, or like we go and hang out and I'd see them. But I never really believed in Facebook. I always thought that social media was just another way to kind of make people antisocial, because like you post your update and then you don't have to interact with the person. You just see what they're doing, and then it's really passive. And so I don't really think it's wrong to consider Facebook a social media site, because it's just like, it's essentially like a blogger, but you don't have to interact with your friends or anything anymore. So I was against it for a long time, and I still am. But the only reason why I got the Facebook account is because you needed one to create a Facebook page. And it was like, I really didn't want like somebody else creating a fake Facebook page for any of the sites I run. I've heard horror stories about people who've created fake Facebook pages for other companies and stuff, and then people believe it.
Here, take this. It'll make you feel better.
Thanks, Dad.
Do you want me to get your dinner?
Oh yeah, I'm really hungry.
Now
Okay,
you're
I'll
hungry.
go see what I can find. I'll call you when it's ready.
So there's like certain people that I know they're not ghosting me, but I just know they're busy. Like a lot of my friends now, they're getting married, and the big thing now is like they're having kids, and so it's just like, you'll call me back when you want to talk. And that's the other thing is like most of my generation of friends, they never want to talk on the phone. They just want to text, and it's like, this is so lame. But then, like my friends that are like Gen X or on the borderline of being millennials, they'll totally call me. But again, they're like having kids, so it's like, okay, I'll call when you're free. And then the other thing is, because they have kids, like when you talk to them, half the time they're talking to you, and the other half of the time they're telling the kid to stop doing something. So it's like a couple of times you're like, is she telling me to stop? And then you're like, oh,
You can
no,
come now,
she's
Sean.
talking to her kid or something.
Your meal is ready.
I'm coming!
So once you become a parent, you really have to get good at multitasking. And it's just like, I'm not ready for that level of, one, responsibility, but two, activity level. And so, I mean, talking about taking care of kids and activity level, but I got a new dog. Well, my family got a new family dog, so now we have 2 dogs. And so our first dog, they're both Newfoundlands, but our first dog is really chill, and she listens and does everything, you know, you want. And whenever we're like working in the house or anything, she just takes a nap, and then we go for the walks, and she's happy and excited. So she's a really good dog. But we got a new dog, and she's a rescue Newfoundland. And so the family that got her, they got her right when they had 3 toddlers. I mean 2 toddlers and 1 newborn. And they're like, we can't take care of all 3 of them and this new dog. And so they put her up for adoption, and we filled out an application. And filling out an application for a Newfoundland, let alone a rescue Newfoundland, it's harder to get those dogs than adopting an actual human baby.
Is your teacher nice?
I mean, they
Everything's
interview
fine,
and then they set up in-house interviews so they can see your house, make sure you know how to interact with the dog. And then they'll like say, okay, can your dog handle somebody? So then another dog. So then they'll bring another Newfoundland and see if it can interact with that dog.
Come on, Sean.
So it was a huge process, and it took
I'm not tired yet.
It took
Can I
2
stay up a
3
little longer?
It took 2
Now,
to 3
that's not
months.
very reasonable, is it? You have school tomorrow. You have to get some sleep.
All right, I'm going. Are you coming with me?
Go brush your teeth and put
But
on your
she
pajamas.
is so high energy.
Come up.
And it's like, I can see why the other family couldn't handle it. I mean, we're training her, we're taking a dog class, and she's learning a lot, and she's really smart. But she, like, uses her powers for, not evil, but just for mischief. And so that's probably one of the reasons why I'm losing Ray is half the time I'm chasing her around. And she loves to steal food. And she's a bigger Newf than our other dog. So she can reach higher onto the counter. And Newfoundlands are pretty big. They're almost the same size as St. Bernards. And a lot of them are bigger than St. Bernards. But we have 2 girl Newfs. So, yeah, they're shorter, but they're still pretty big. And the rescue Newf, she's 1 year old. 1 year older, so she's still really a puppy. And especially because she's been in, like, a foster home. Her training is not less, but she's not as well trained as she would be if, like, we got her as a newborn. The plot thickens.
When the parents came home from church, all their children were gone. They searched and called for them. They cried and begged, but it was all to no avail. The children have never been seen again.
I just want to take this time to, for new viewers, you can support Thumbs United on Patreon under LCD Productions. LCD Productions produces the work for Thumbs United, as well as Photations. And coming this September, Live to Tape is going to have its first release. And everything comes to Patreon first, and we really believe in early access. So most of the content gets released to Patreon a month or 2 months in advance of being released to the public. So you really get to see what we're doing firsthand and everything. And it's a lot of fun. There's a lot of travel and adventure and
Good night,
gaming
Sean.
content
My
that we
teddy.
produce.
I haven't got my teddy, Dad.
You must have left it
If you
somewhere in the
support
house.
at the $2
Do you
or
have any
more
idea
level,
where it could be?
No, Dad.
you can get that early
Please,
access.
I can't sleep without him.
So it would help
All
a
right,
lot.
I'll have a
help
look
out
around
lot
and see if I can
if you
find
subscribe.
it, okay?
We also have other tiers where we'll send you postcards. We'll give you from quotations.com. We have a project called Daily Animation, and so each month we'll send you a pack of animated files, and it's a HD render that you can like set for your desktop or keep for yourself. And then one of the other options, the higher tier, is we'll send you a framed print, an 8x10 monthly. So if you want to get a lot of pictures or have a couple of places like an office, your home, that you want to set up, you can subscribe and you'll get framed 8x10s. And these are nice 8x10s with mat and the frame and everything. But right now it's US only.
Thanks, Dad.
But if
Good
you
night,
want to
Sean.
pick out your own photo,
Night.
you can go to
Dad?
quotationstore.com,
Yeah?
and there everything
Why
is
do you look
printed
so
to order.
sad?
I think I just need some time to get back to the way things were.
You know, Dad, what happened to Jason wasn't your fault.
Good night, Sean.
That is a wise kid. We also have a tier on LCD Productions where we produce content only for Patreon. So there is an exclusivity tier if you're interested in that. Now we're getting a little bit of a psychological thriller. The game takes an even darker turn in an already dark world.
What the heck is happening to me? I must be going crazy.
So getting back to our topics, I'm originally a Mac person, but I build my PCs, so I have to use Windows for that. And I gave Windows a chance because I was like, I wanted to game, and I do like Linux, but. So I had Windows 7, and I really enjoyed Windows 7. Windows 7 was amazing. But then I got the developer's edition of Windows 8. And I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a catastrophe. And everyone kind of agreed that Windows 8 was a failure. And then Windows 9.1, Windows 8.1, which they are claiming is actually Windows 9, like it was an actual release update, wasn't that much better. And I've been on the forums of some other sites, and there was this one tech support person, and he's like, oh, I hate how I have to tell everyone that Windows 10 totally makes sense, because Windows 8 was Windows 8.
Lauren Winter.
But Windows
Ring any bells?
8.1 was the
Nope,
next version.
can't say it does.
And so it's obvious that Windows 10 comes after 8.1 because that's a whole new version.
That Lauren Winter.
And she's like, you are so
Third
stupid.
floor, last
Of
floor
course
on the
people are
left, at the
confused.
end of the
Your
corridor.
product goes from 8 to 10. Even if you have a 0.1 release, I mean, that's just an update. That doesn't mean it's a whole new version. But they claim. But he's just, and it's just like, you're probably not good at tech support if you can't understand why people have this kind of problem. But anyway, so then I went from Windows 8 to 8.1. It was a big hassle going from 0.1 to Windows 10 because yes, Windows 10 was a free update, but I had this issue where I replaced the motherboard, and apparently Windows counts a motherboard as a new installation when you change it. And it's like, seriously?
It's $50. I don't kiss and I don't do any weird shit.
Fine by me.
So it was a whole hassle because they just wanted you to re-enter the activation key, but the activation key was tied to Windows 8.
You got exactly 10 minutes when the alarm rings. It's over, okay?
And so it didn't believe me. It was just like, this is not a Windows 10 activation.
Yeah, she keeps the place pretty ship-shape.
This is a huge bug.
I've seen whores that didn't give a damn about their liver
updated from Windows 10.
You should take your clothes off. We ain't got all day.
Actually, I'm not a customer.
Oh, shit, a cop.
And so,
I should have known.
huge
What do you want?
issue
a
that
freebie?
Windows
Is that
8.
It?
I mean, Windows 10 doesn't accept Windows 8
My name is Scott
activation
Shelby.
key.
I'm a private
When
detective.
it was a free update.
The families of the victims of the origami killer asked me to investigate the murders. I came here just to ask you some questions about Johnny.
I already told the police all I know and I have nothing to add. Leave me alone.
That's not the real issue.
I
mean, there are a
understand,
lot of
Lauren.
issues I have with Windows 10.
I know what you're
I don't
doing.
like how they. I mean,
yeah?
I'm okay. I
You
wanted
know what
the
it
Windows
feels
10
like to find your own
update,
son's body on a
but
wasteland?
what they did to all
I'm
the
sorry,
other users,
I don't believe you have the
like
slightest idea what I'm going through, Mr. Shelby.
Mr. Shelby.
The killer is walking around free as we speak. He'll kill again if he's not arrested.
My Johnny's dead, so what difference does it make?
I bought 10 minutes of your time.
But I don't like how Windows 10
All I
forced
ask
itself
is that
on
you use
everyone.
that time to answer some
I
questions.
mean, if you didn't want
want to
Windows
pay me
8
to
and you
tell
still
you
have
about my
Windows 7,
son? Is
it
that it?
shouldn't force you to update
You can buy my
to
body,
Windows
Mr.
10.
Shelby,
And
but
I
my
heard
son
a
is
lot of
not for
reports of
sale.
people,
Get
even
out of here.
streamers, that
Get the fuck out!
they go to sleep, and they wake up, and they start the computer, and surprise, Windows 10's on it. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And they did such shady stuff. Like,
I'll leave my card on the kitchen table.
when they had the
You never
prompt
know.
to, like, do you want to install Windows 10? You could say no. But then, of course, it would ask you, like, a couple days later. But if you just closed the prompt, it would assume that that was yes. Never in Windows history has just closing up prompt assumed yes, but they did it for Windows 10. That meant you wanted it. And so a lot
Well, if
of
you
people,
remember anything,
their machines
smallest
broke
detail,
because they couldn't handle Windows 10,
give me a
1.
call.
And 2, you know, there are some application specific stuff that doesn't work in 10. And especially if you work in the engineering field, the CAD tools, they're tied
I
to
didn't
your
learn squat.
operation system. So if
Well,
you get a new
worth a
operating
try.
system, you have to buy a new license, and a new license can cost anywhere from like $300 to $10,000 depending on what level of engineering you're doing. So a lot of the colleges and stuff were angry with Windows 10. But then, Windows 10 has this horrible update feature. And so I use my computer more as a server to render files and do batch things. And so Windows 10, even though like my computer would be working at 100% utilization, Windows would get an update and it's just like, oh, we can tell you're not using the computer because you didn't move the mouse, but
What are
the
you doing here? I
command
already told you,
prompt.
I don't want to see you anymore.
Sorry, Dal, but I really wanted to see
But it's obviously working at 100%, and so it's just like, why would you force restart, close all
What do you want,
programs?
asshole?
Lauren, is everything all right?
She's just swell. Now beat it, loser! you again? If you're looking for trouble, you found it. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you.
And so some of the tasks that I would run, they take like a week or sometimes even a month to complete, and these are like 4K renders and animations. And so it would take like 2-3 weeks to render, and then there'd be an update in that time because there was always update Tuesday, which is the second Tuesday of the month. And so then I would lose all the work. And if you don't know with renders, a lot of times when you're rendering something, there's no like safe process for the render in between, especially if you're rendering a video and not image files. But like, if the process stops, then it has to start over from the beginning. So it was just a pain in the butt. And so that's when I made the decision. I was like, I'm just switching over to Linux. There are a couple programs that were Windows specific, but almost everything I can do in Linux or Ubuntu. But so what I did was I took the boot drive out of my PC, and then I have.
See you again, asshole.
I have a disk reader that it holds two internal hard drives.
Better than him, I guess.
And so you can.
Who is he?
And then it has a power button for both of them.
Me.
And so
he was
then it
getting
connects
violent, and I
with
told him I didn't want to see him
eSATA.
anymore.
You should be careful.
And so then I have
He'll
one
probably be
drive
back.
with Ubuntu
Sorry
on
about
it, and
the
then
mess.
the original Windows 10
Mr. Shelby.
drive. And so
Yeah.
Thanks.
and so then like I power on the Linux drive and then boot the machine, and then Linux boots, or I power on the Windows drive, and then Windows boots. And I do it this way because back in Windows 8 and Windows 10, Windows would constantly try to corrupt a Linux file system or boot partition on the hard drive, and so there were several times when it's just like there was an update to Windows, and guess what doesn't work? The Linux boot driver or bootloader. And so you're just like, oh, I didn't want to deal with that. So Windows doesn't even know that 90% of the time the computer is booted into Linux, because that drive's just off, and I don't plug it in while Windows is in there. I don't want Windows to take control of it and like corrupt it. I guess I like the UI changes in Windows 10, and on the whole the operating system's good, but it's just, I don't know why they make these poor decisions. And yes, you should have updates, but you should give the user choices on when they want to receive the updates, because that's just ridiculous if they don't. And I'm worried that for like Windows 11, if they pull something on Windows like they did with Windows 10 and then expect you to pay for it,
The zone is sectioned off,
it's just
sir.
going to be
Please
ridiculous.
step back.
Agent Norman Jaden, FBI.
And so now what
You got a
happens
badge
is
or something,
there's
Mr.
a
Jaden?
couple of conversion apps I need that
Yeah,
run
of
on
course.
Windows. And so when I use them, what I do is I boot in the Windows, and I don't even plug in the Ethernet cable.
Check.
I just don't give it
Pass.
internet access at all, because I don't want it to download
I'm
an
looking for
update
Lieutenant
or
Blake.
anything while it's working.
Is he around?
I saw him arrive earlier. He's here somewhere.
Thanks. Video memo recording, Agent 47023, Norman Jaden, Tuesday, October 4th, 2011. Time is 8:14 a.m.
And so at the time of this recording, E3 is finished. And I don't
Harry
know.
comment.
To be
Traces of
honest,
blood
it
detected
felt
on the
kinda
fence
dirty.
behind the railroad line. The blood
Xbox
report
announced
indicates an
the
advanced
Xbox
and
One
long-lasting state of exhaustion.
I found this one meme that was funny because it was like, here's an Xbox, and then here's an Xbox box, and then it was like, here's the Xbox S's box, and here's the Xbox S, and then it said, here's the Xbox X, and then here's the Xbox. And I was just like, that's funny. It's like, yay, it does 4K, but none of the games look better. And like they were saying, oh, it has high dynamic range, blah 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 blah. It's just like, I guess running in 4K, especially for a game, is so hard. There aren't that many graphical improvements. It's just a resolution increase. And I'm pretty sure that it doesn't run. I would have preferred like all games now running at 60 frames per second. And they said it will do it for like HD games, but I don't think it's going to run at 60 frames per second in 4K. Or it will do for like occasional scenes.
There's a good chance that they'll kill us.
I think Xbox.
Harry comment. Tire tracks on the side of the road behind the railroad.
Announce more exclusives.
Maybe
like actual exclusive games. And they need more Halo. I don't really like Gears overall, but and they need to come up with better story-driven games. Because when I search the Xbox store for games, it's just like 99% of it is like games that I want to get. And all the games that are on there are like games you can get for the PlayStation 4. And I don't have a PlayStation 4, but it's just there's nothing really unique to the Xbox One. And my reaction when I first got the Xbox was like, the graphics aren't that much better, but at least this time they're at 1080p. So it's like, yo, now a game console that actually does high definition. And so I do a lot of PC gaming, but because I'm mostly using the computer and Linux, I don't have time to do the gaming.
Harry comment. Traces of blood on the railroad track.
Lieutenant Blake? I'm Agent Norman Jaden from the FBI. I went by your office this morning. They told me you'd be here.
Now, if you're looking for rain, dead bodies, and highways, you come to the right place. Mike, will you tell that asshole with the bulldozer to stop for 5 minutes? I can't hear myself think here.
Right away, Lieutenant.
Well, are you coming, Jaden?
So, what happened?
Some guy taking his dog for a piss found a body about 6 o'clock this morning. We don't know much more right now. Based on what we've seen, looks like the work of the origami killer.
The origami killer?
Has the body been identified?
No, not yet. We should know more later today.
There are a lot of people on the crime scene. Aren't you afraid your men might destroy some clues?
You don't find proof sitting behind a desk. And we're not in the habit of trampling things into the ground, even if we're not in the FBI.
No, of course not. That's not what I meant.
Any news on the coroner?
He's on his way, Lieutenant.
We've been waiting for an hour, for fuck's sake.
Has the time of death been established?
Based on the rigor mortis, must be less than 6 hours ago. We should know more once the coroner has had a look.
Any witnesses?
None yet. Given the neighborhood, I'd be surprised if anybody saw anything.
For E3.
Tony, I don't want to see a single shit-stirring journalist within a mile of here. You got it?
Yes, like Lieutenant. The games they announced, like none of them really interested me. Yeah, they had the Assassin's Creed.
Do we know the cause of death?
Don't really like Assassin's Creed.
There are no marks on the body.
And then they announced
chances are he was drowned,
game,
like the others.
What's it called?
Listen, I'm a little busy here. Why don't we discuss all this a little later, back at the office?
Oh, no problem. I understand. Do you mind if I have a look around?
Be my guest.
Mass Effect.
Hey, Jaden.
I mean,
you come and see me if you find anything, okay?
And you just
we're
like
on the same team now.
I watched some of the videos on like what happened at BioWare. It was like studio heads left. They were gonna do something like No Man's Sky, and then at the last second they decided not to. And then it was really like within the last 9 months that they actually built the game that came out. It's just like, what were you doing for the 5 years?
Harry comment. Sample of no interest. Comes from one of the policemen present on the wasteland.
900 planets. But they figured out that they couldn't tell the story, but it's just like, that's pretty obvious. That you couldn't tell a linear story with like 900 planets that are all procedurally made. But I guess they didn't know that. And then, I don't know when Anthem's coming out, but it's just like, how much time were they developing like Anthem versus the team that was developing the Mass Effect and Andromeda? So I'm kind of excited for Anthem, but not really. I mean, the other thing is that I had a 1 month subscription to Xbox Live, and it cost me $1 because they want to get you hooked, and then it goes up to $10 a month. But I was just like, I don't know, I don't like playing multiplayer games, so I canceled it. So now the Xbox is getting huffy at me every once in a while. It's like, or Xbox One Live membership is about to expire, and they're like, good. But so I don't really like the games that rely exclusively on multiplayer. I just like story-driven games better.
Harry comment. Sample of no interest. Comes from one of the policemen present on the wasteland.
But what E3 was good for this year, I think, was the cringe factor. If you just YouTube like the cringe videos from 2017's E3, they're like hilarious.
Harry comment. Sample of no interest.
Like, what was
Comes from one of the policemen present on the wasteland.
Company? Oh my goodness. It was Devolver. Their announcement was just like, please stop. Please don't go any further. I mean, it was funny, but it's just like, And then they had the teleprompter flood with the one YouTuber, and it's just like, this is dreadful. And I don't think a lot of people realize that, like, it's because the teleprompter failed. They probably thought that, like, he had a rehearsed speech, but you never have a rehearsed speech. Even when you see the studio heads and the executives go on, yeah, they kind of have an idea what they're going to talk about, but there's a teleprompter telling them what they're going to say. all the time. But I liked EA's Need for Speed, where they're like, yeah, we're gonna do something that a lot of you are asking for, which is more challenging AI. And so then they have the demo, and the AI is just like, it runs into walls and they wipe out, and it's just like, obviously the AI is not any better. That part was funny. But there's a lot of cringiness. I didn't like the Star Wars announcement. I thought it was just like, how many times can you say the word Star Wars? Seriously. And again, it's another multiplayer game. I don't know if there's a story. I don't think there is this time. But so I'm not really looking forward to that.
Harry, comment. The victim is lying on his back. No visible signs of violence. An orchid was placed on the victim's chest. Superficial wound on the right thigh. The blood is identical to that on the fence. A small origami figure in the right hand. Fingers were probably closed after Twitch the time of death.
For a while now. I mean, I haven't been streaming.
The victim is Jeremy
Bowles.
Bowles.
Recording now.
Declared missing 5 days ago.
LetsPlay, LetsPlay.
See reference file.
For that, I went through a long period where I wasn't streaming. It was just mainly because I was mainly booted into Linux.
His face is covered with mud,
and,
like the other victims.
I wanted to game capture some games on Xbox One, and I actually have a huge library of games that I'm waiting to do the voiceover for. That are all like 360 games.
I've seen all there is to see.
PS3 games. So it's gonna be a while before I even get to the PC
back
games
to the
again.
You staying?
Or the Xbox One games start coming up. Because I want to get to that back catalog.
I'm leaving too.
But I think the Twitch UI has a lot of problems.
The trail leads to this ridge.
To a few people.
The killer must have come down here with a body.
I think I have like 80 people not subscribe, I follow. And so
I think I've seen enough. Better get back to the station before I catch pneumonia.
But it's like, they're new people.
Impressive.
People that were
Seems the only traces the killer left are those he intended to leave. He knew exactly what he was doing.
I don't know what it is, but it's just
right
like,
down to the tiniest detail.
I can't remember which ones I like. But it's just like, you're new, and it's like, is this somebody I really want to watch right now? And there's, I don't really like
Way too many people here. They're trampling all over the crime scene.
If somebody's alive,
there's a railroad track near where
they're easy to find. You just go to
all the other victims.
Following and they're there, but I don't like how hard it is to get to people that are not live.
I can use a coffee. Might warm me up.
90% of the time I want to watch a past.
The trail leads to this ridge.
So like if you're trying to go
the killer
find
must have
somebody
come
that's
down
not
here
live,
with a body.
It's like 15 steps. And it's just like, I want to find this person. I feel like the recent tab only works, and I'm talking about the Xbox One, only works when somebody's live. So if you recently watched somebody and they're live, then it says, oh, here's a recent person you watched like a week ago. They're back live again. But if they're not live, then it doesn't show you anyone in the recent. It's like, oh. And then I wish the other thing they did was, I wish they had a feature that was like, okay, I could set like, okay, I don't want to unfollow people, but I wish you could like rank which ones you like the best, so that you could see them first when they go live. Because their current system is, I don't think, very good. And then the other problem I'm having is a lot of the people I follow are like changing their names or changing what kind of content they produce, and that's why they're changing their names. So it's like I go and look for the old name, and I'm new to watching their stream, and then it's like, oh, I actually don't know who they are. And so now I'm starting to learn people by their offline image. It's like, is this the person I want to watch? It's like, oh yeah, it is.
A wolf's head.
But I'm exploring a lot more on Twitch.
Crab.
I'm trying to follow a lot more people, and I like it a lot. I like watching the creative, but I really like the in real life streams, IRL streams. I feel like those are the best, just because you get the Twitch kind of lag and stream of consciousness from when people are gaming, because I mean it's really hard to game.
I have the results of your MRI scans. Everything seems to be normal. There is no physical damage from the accident.
Yeah, like talking a straight
However,
line.
I am worried about your psychological condition. I know it's not easy, but you've got to start over, Ethan. You're not responsible for what happened.
It's my fault Jason is dead. He'd still be alive if I'd been looking out for him.
It was an accident. Accidents happen every day. You can't blame yourself forever for your son's death. How is Sean?
He's a very solitary kid, you know, very focused within himself. He's really close to his mother. With me, he's more distant.
And what about you, Ethan? What do you feel?
I no longer want to live. I have no reason to continue.
Not even for your son, Sean.
I couldn't save Jason. Sean doesn't need a father like me.
Is there something else you wanted to tell me, Ethan?
I sometimes have these blackouts. Times when I don't know what I'm doing. I recover consciousness sometime later, but I'm someplace else. And I have no idea how I got there. Do you think this could be related to the accident?
You suffered a massive concussion and were in a coma for 6 months. We really don't know what effect a shock like that can have on the brain. That's the end of this session. We'll continue this conversation next week. You were lucky, Ethan. It's very rare to survive such a traumatic accident.
I don't exactly feel lucky, Doctor.
So
Sean looks so miserable.
Previously in the other Let's Play, I've been talking about how I've been getting into VR. And so the app I use for the iPhone for VR is called VR Player.
Do you want to eat something?
I think it's called like VR Player Plus. But there's a free version.
Aren't you going to go play with the other kids?
It's like $1 for the paid one.
I don't feel like it.
Because the free version plays ads like every 30 seconds. But it doesn't play it in like VR, so it's like really annoying.
No,
but
I'm all right.
It's one of the best VR players around, because if you have like 3D videos.
How did things go at school today?
I was punished because I didn't do my homework.
Oh, I should have done your homework.
I'm sorry about that, Sean. Next time, we'll really pull it together, okay?
So, if you're watching like 3D, have a 3D video, you can put it in VR mode, and then you can watch the 3D video.
You know how to
VR,
use it?
which is really
No,
good because I
not
really
really.
think that's
I
the
can
way
never make it come
3D
back.
videos are supposed to be.
Can I give it a
viewed
try?
in VR? Because it doesn't have any of the annoying features of like passive or active glasses. But I recently discovered a way, because you have a choice. You can watch it where it's pillar boxed, so you can see the full screen, or you can zoom it in, and then if you turn your head to the left or to the right, it will pan to the left or right of a video file. And I'm talking about like a regular video or 3D video, and I'm not talking about a 360 video. And so I found out a way to make it like even more full screen, because sometimes it has a border. And it's just like so immersive, and it's crazy because I'll watch one video and it's just like...
You did it, Dad!
Do you want to give it a try?
I won't be able to do it.
Oh, come on, let's try together.
Now,
the main thing is to get the right position
it's
at
just
the
like,
beginning.
wow, you see so much more
you gotta
detail
throw it straight and a
in the
little
VR
to
version
the right.
than you would. And I'm talking more about scale. You see more scale detail in the VR than you necessarily would from a movie theater screen sitting, 50 feet back, or from a computer monitor sitting 3 or 4 feet away from it.
I did it, Dad!
Good job, Sean. See?
And the brightness
that wasn't so
was
hard.
Really nice.
I'll find something else to do with him. I haven't been on a seesaw in a long time. What do you think?
Yeah!
So one of the reasons, I'm taking a break from most of the summer, and I took a break in winter too, just because I was working a lot, and I was working overnights a lot, so I would sleep during the day most of the time. I wouldn't have time to stream, because when I was working, I'd be working all night. But the reason why I took a break over the summer is I had to essentially babysit a lot of people, but I was also moving my sisters both in and out of the different college dorms. My sisters are doing a lot of summer programs at other universities, so it was like, it would take a week, and then, not a week, but take like 3 or 4 days and like drive to the college.
What about that merry-go-round?
Move them out of the college, and then they came
so
back home
fast
for a
you
little
won't be
while,
able to stay on it.
which was pretty nice.
Great!
Because then it was like, yeah, we got the family back together again. But then they had to move out of the house and go back to a different college that they're doing the summer program at. And so it's been a little stressful because for the fall semester, one of them is going out of the country for their semester.
Faster! Faster! Come on! Faster!
And so we had to get them a new ID because their ID expired, and we had to get them a new passport because that expired. There's definitely a lot of running around because we only had a week to do it. And so things are kind of starting to settle down to the point where I can reliably record these Let's Plays.
I think my head is spinning.
Not enough so that
good training for astronauts, though.
So that's why I'm waiting waited towards the end of July to start posting the Deadpool Let's Plays, because I want to post reliably like every Tuesday, and then I am gonna do the continue doing the rebroadcast on Thursday, because I do like to have kind of twice weekly in case you missed it.
Looks like rain's coming.
But
I
of
think
course,
we
if you
better
want to
go.
catch up
Okay.
on the new stuff or the old stuff, if you subscribe to the Patreon at the $2 level,
You know, sometimes
you
I
can
remember
get
before.
early access to everything
I mean, when Jason
before it
was
comes
still
to Twitch and the old
Sometimes I wish everything could just be the way it
stream
was
archives,
before.
which have no ads in them.
Me too, Sean. Me too.
So you get ad-free content and everything if you subscribe at the $2 level. And then
Hey,
I'm
Dad,
getting
can I have
ready
a ride
to
on the
apply
carousel?
to a new
Can
job.
I?
Just because I'm getting worried
Sure.
about
Go pick a horse and get on. I'll get a ticket.
when I applied to this department store before they start hiring
One,
for
please.
seasonal, because I don't want to
That's
work for
$1.
seasonal again, because it's like you work really hard and you do a really good job, but then they're like, yeah, we're not going to keep you, so I want to get hired during the summer and work during the day and not so much early mornings, because the job I had before was really stressful because I worked on the freight team, so you had to be there sometimes at 4 in the morning to unload the truck, and then you had to unload the truck within 3 hours or so, and usually it was more like you had to unload it in 2 hours, and then what happened is you had to sort while you unloaded, so it was like really intensive, and yeah, you'd be sore for a long time.
Sean, where are you? Sean! 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 Sean!
And then I guess it's okay that I'm not producing that much content. I'm producing a lot during the summer, but it's going to come out mainly at the end of the summer and early fall. But I've noticed that, like, on the social media accounts, it's like the post engagement and post reach, it's gone down like 50%. And I think it's because, like, everyone's outside, everyone's enjoying the weather, everyone's having a good time, they're not on the social media so much. And it's just like funny because I always talk about that with like streaming apps and other media services. Like, there's a big drop off because nobody wants to watch TV during the summer. You can be out of the house and going on vacation and everything. It's just funny to see that happening again with social media. And then the other reason why I'm trying to get another job is because I'm working as a gardener, and my official position is as a groundskeeper because I'm like responsible for everything. And
do you think it's gonna take long?
No, he should be finished soon.
It's just there's been a lot of rainy days, so everything's growing, but you can't work while it's raining. Like you can't cut the grass, you can't do the weed whacker, you can't weed. I mean, you can weed, but it's good to weed like right after it rains because then the soil's wet, so the weeds come out really easily. But it's been raining a lot, and so it's like I work. I work maybe 3 to 4 times a week instead, like all 5 days. And the other issue is with gardening and landscaping, they don't really want you to garden on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. That's cutting it down. So the max I can work is like 4 days a week because you don't want to be operating equipment during the weekend, and that's including your Friday, just to give like the neighbors a rest and everything. But the other good thing about all the rain is that everything grows back really quickly, which is good and not good, because it means you have like a weekly schedule. It's like, okay, I have to do this 3 times a week, or I have to there's a lot of repeat work because you have to trim everything that's growing back. But the downside is like it's a lot more work for you, and you have a lot of other things to do in addition to the stuff you have to do weekly. Like
I'm off, Charlene. I'll look at the reports later. Oh, cancel all appointments for this afternoon.
Okay. Oh, Captain, Agent Norman Jaden from the FBI is here.
Jaden, of course. We've been expecting you. I'm in a bit of a hurry. Do you mind tagging along? We can talk as we walk.
Yeah, of course. I wanted to introduce myself before getting started, but perhaps there's a better time.
No, it's fine. I just have to get to the press conference. We have them every day now. Believe me, it's not always easy finding something to tell them. Fortunately, today we have some news. Have you met Lieutenant Blake yet?
Yeah, we met this morning.
He has his own methods, but he's a good cop. I'm sure you'll get on well together. Do you know how to tie a knot in a necktie?
I guess.
To be frank with you, I could have done without the FBI on this one, but the press are all over us. This origami killer case crept up on us, and it's fast becoming a national concern. There are hundreds of killers in this country, but what do you know? This guy is exotic. He leaves flowers and origami figures. Work that one out. Then the press get onto it, and we suddenly become the center of the universe.
I'm here to arrest a serial killer. With all due respect, sir, the rest of it, it's none of my business.
No, of course not. All I'm asking is that you make progress, and fast. The press want a perpetrator, and we're gonna have to serve him up on a silver platter. Well, I hope you're better at profiling than at tying knots. Oh, forget it, I'll manage.
If he could tie the tie himself the whole time, why is he having other people tie his tie?
Oh, go see Charlie and she'll show you to your office. Yeah, check in on the press conference if you're interested. It'll give you an idea of the political climate around here.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome to the club, Jaden.
I'm also planning on going to California over the summer. A lot of my family members are... They've reached the age where like a whole new generation is coming, and they're starting having babies and everything. So it's not a baby shower, but
nice watch.
There's a baptism that's going to happen.
Oh, it's the present we offer to our new lieutenants.
July.
We bought the same model each year for the past 20 years for each promotion. It optimizes everybody's time, and it's the kind of thing that always goes down well. You can contribute to our fund if you like. We're still a few dollars short.
Congratulate Larry on my behalf.
I'll be sure to do that, sir.
Captain Perry said you could show me to my office?
Yes, of course. Follow me.
And so I'm excited for going to California. It's going to be a short trip, and I might do it twice. I used to live in California. I lived there from 2013 to 2015, and I was also born there. So I lived there from birth to like the age of 3. And then in the summertime, while I was in high school and elementary school.
This is my office?
Every summer I'd
That's
go
where I was
there
told to take you.
to live.
If you need anything, you know where to find me.
And my dad lives out in California, so that's why I always went out there for summer.
Okay, time to work.
I mean, like, there's advantages to living in California and disadvantages. I used to want to live there when I got older. I don't know, like, not so sure. I'm going to try it out, living out there on my own eventually. But not yet. And one of the reasons why I'm like not too enthusiastic is because the traffic is horrible. I'm talking about in the LA region and around it, but it's just like, oh my goodness. Like before there were like times you wouldn't want to be on the road because there'd be traffic. Now there's no such thing as rush hour because it's every hour, all the time. There's no good time to travel.
Step 1. Change
But
the
the thing I
office.
like about California is that most of my family lives there. So that's nice. Your family can't unfriend you.
The killer's car is probably a Chevrolet Malibu 83.
And so one of the things I want to do before I move out of the house is I want to do this project. I call it like the Great American Journey. But I'm saving up for my car. My previous
No
car
prints or specific clues.
was fine, working
Nothing
fine.
much to go on.
And then there was a storm, and a tree fell on it and squished it. And so then I only
Just
had
one
about
origami store in
5,000 miles
town.
on it. It was like 5,500 miles. So it's relatively brand new, but it was like 3 years old. And so when the insurance came in for it, the value they gave it was like, it was 11,000, but after
Common
taxes
species.
and their deductible, it was only
That doesn't help
10,000.
much.
It was just like, so that meant like I would have to buy a used car.
The orchid
and
is a
if I
common
bought a used
species.
car,
It can be
it would
found
have
at any
like a
flower shop.
minimum of 100,000 miles, and it was a Mini Cooper. And so like with minis, like you have to think, why is this person selling their Mini at $100,000? Because nobody really wants to get rid of their Mini Cooper. I mean, maybe they wanted a bigger car, but the gas mileage, when I drove it, I would get about 40 miles to get to the gallon, but they advertised it as being
8 victims in the
30
last 3
miles
years.
per gallon.
All boys, aged between 9 and 13.
And so what I actually want to do
No
is...
signs of violence.
So I'm saving up
The
for
victims disappear
the
from
second
public
Mini,
places in broad daylight.
and I'm going to try to get it new because
No
I
one
want
notices
to
anything.
put the miles on it myself. I don't want to buy something with
Bodies are found 3 to
pre-used
5
miles.
days later.
Because you never know what's going to break. You don't know how they use the transmission.
Rainwater.
There's a lot of things you don't know. But I'm also looking into teardrop campers because I wanted to
always the same
travel
ritual.
the U.S. more.
An origami in the hand, an orchid on the chest. The victims have always been dead for less than 6 hours when they were found.
Set up the teardrop trailer, and then you have the car, and you can leave it.
Drowned.
You can lock the trailer so nobody goes in.
3,500 people
and like
questioned.
if you were camping with a tent, you can't really
Over 100
lock a tent
suspects
because anyone with a
interrogated.
knife can
Not a single lead to go on.
come in and kill it. Come in and cut it open and grab all your valuables. And what's nice about the teardrop trailer is that the back opens up and you have a kitchen there. So I'm saving up for both the trailer and the mini. The trailers I've been looking at cost about like $5,000 to $6,000. I've seen some for $7,000, but they're not on my list yet.
Here we go again. I gotta go wash my face.
And so we almost reached the 2-hour mark.
I
just want to remind everybody
I'm gonna faint if I
that you can subscribe to LCD Productions on Patreon, and you get early access to this Let's Play.
I can make it.
This whole Let's Play is released.
I can make it.
All the episodes are released to Patreon first before I start streaming it to Twitch. And then if you don't want to subscribe, you can hang out in Twitch. I'll stream it. I stream it weekly, one episode at a time. I also do a rebroadcast on Thursdays in case you missed the Tuesday Let's Play. And then once we complete the Let's Play, it will be coming to YouTube. And I release it one Let's Play a week. So you can subscribe to Thumbs United on YouTube. And you'll get the content there too. So I hope you enjoyed our last Let's Play of Deadpool. And we're going to continue Heavy Rain for the next week. I believe it's going to be another 5 episode Let's Play. But unlike Deadpool, which was an hour at a time.
This is Lieutenant Blake, Mr. Marshall.
Each Let's Play with Heavy Rain is going to be 2
It was
hours.
this afternoon. I went to the park with my son Sean. We played together for a while, and then he wanted to go on the carousel, so I put him on one of the wooden horses, and when I turned back, Sean had disappeared.
Exactly what time did you arrive at the park? Try to remember exactly, Mr. Mars. Every detail can be important.
It must have been about 4:15. Yeah, that's it, 4:15. I remember exactly because I looked at the clock in the park when we arrived.
What was your son wearing when he disappeared?
He was wearing a coat. A black coat. And a pair of pants. Green pants.
How could Sean have disappeared without you even noticing? Weren't you right by the carousel?
I went for a short walk around the park, just for a few minutes. When I got back, the carousel had stopped, and Sean wasn't there.
You say you took your son to the park after school, but you didn't report him missing until 8:15. Why did it take you so long to contact the police?
I searched the whole neighborhood for him. I thought he couldn't have gone far.
So thanks for tuning in.
All right.
Start the pre-stream.
That's all the
at
questions
7.
I have for now. You're free to go, Mr. Mars.
And
We'll continue to
I'll do
look
a
for Sean overnight.
rebroadcast
We'll contact you if we have any more
Each week
questions.
on Thursdays. Also starting, pre-stream starts at
Do you think the origami killer...
7 p.m. Eastern Time.
Listen, your son's probably just run off and he'll turn up in a couple hours.
But what if it is the origami killer?
The origami killer.
Well, then we have about 4 days to find him alive.
I like how they all instantly know how much rainfall there is. Bum ba bum. Well,
find something?
No, nothing yet, but they're gonna keep looking through the night.
Do they think it's the origami killer?
It's still too early to say, but it is a possibility.
What happened, Ethan? How could you lose Sean like that? You should never have taken your eyes off him. I mean, for God's sake, how hard is it to keep your eye on a child in the park? Why did you leave him, Ethan? Why? Wasn't it enough losing Jason? Sorry. That's not what I meant to say. I miss him so much.
Well, thanks for tuning in. See you next week.